Good evening and welcome to the Village Board of Trustees Village Board Workshop. Today is Tuesday, June 1st. It is now 7 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please let us remain standing and think about our servicemen and women that never returned home as we just passed this Memorial Day, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
I've frozen. My internet froze. My apologies.
That's okay. All right. Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Meegan-Corrigan.
Present.
Trustee Sauberman.
Maybe I should plug in.
Present.
Trustee Barone.
Present.
And Trustee Alpert. He's frozen. He's here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have Deputy Village Clerk Cathy Van Sickle with me. Okay. So I'm going to make this an abbreviated meeting since we have a lot of information that's going to be put upon us with the proposals on the comprehensive plan. So the full meeting from the department heads will be given on Monday evening unless there is something pressing. The next regular scheduled meeting is Monday, June 7th, and that will be in person. The next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 6th. Or I'd like to change that to Monday, July 12th. Is that right? Hold on. Right, so it was the holiday weekend. We moved it to the 5th. How do you feel about making it on the 12th?
The 12th works for me.
Okay,
I think it's okay for me.
okay.
I presume it's okay. I would have to, double check, but I
Yeah.
think it'll be all right.
I believe I'm okay as well.
So that's a Monday?
That would be Monday, July 12th.
Got it. Okay.
And then the next workshop would be Monday, July 26th. After that,
Hold on, that might be July 26th, correct.
all right, that one's good for me too.
July 26th.
I might have a conflict with that, but I will get back to you right away.
Okay,
I just have to check one thing.
sounds good. Okay, we're gonna have a quick presentation by Jacka Corp. that will discuss the Lafayette Theater renovation project. If we could keep it, Jacka Corp, if we could keep it to roughly around 3 minutes, I'd appreciate it. So, Mr. Genito, if there is a representative that is going to discuss the Lafayette Theater renovation project, please allow them to speak.
Yes, Rob, do you know who they are?
I see.
I think it's Ari.
Mhm.
Yep, I just asked him to unmute. You're there, Ari?
Yep, I am. I asked for a video too, if that's possible. And then Terry Rice as well, who's here, and then Julie Suppies, who's not going to be joining the presentation. She works for us, but she's here listening in.
Sorry, Terry, unmute again, and then is the video more than 3 minutes?
I'm just asking so you could see my face.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You may not want to see my face, but I'll show it to you.
Mike, I'm not sure how to help on that.
Hold on, let me check. I think probably the best thing to do is just make him a co-host.
I mean, you know what?
Well, we're gonna
If
make
it doesn't matter to you, I'm happy to just talk.
Oh, Ari, you're going to be a co-host temporarily, and that should give you
Okay.
the ability to
Yep,
show
That's
video.
right. So there we go.
All right, and I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, would you like to be on
Okay.
video as well, Terry?
Whatever you like. Everybody knows my beautiful face.
So very true. So very true.
So thank You know, I
Talk
know
about
you're pressed,
inviting abuse, right?
I know you're
I'm
pressed
okay.
for
All right,
time. I know you're pressed
Yeah,
for
we'll
time.
slip-
I'd like Terry to just start quickly and then, you know, I could
That's
fill in
fine.
and then we'll talk.
Let's, yeah. When we met in February, we had been at the point where we were discussing Chapter 175, the noise law. My first suggestion was that what we were talking about fit under the present code. Rob thought otherwise, suggested that I provide some language. I gave him some language that basically, very simply, authorized the Board of Trustees to allow an exception for an indoor theater in the CB zone, subject to whatever reasonable conditions the Board of Trustees might deem appropriate. So I thought it would be a two-step process. One, you amend the law to make sure that the board has the authority to grant a permit or an exception, however you want to characterize it. And then secondly, you would hopefully grant a permit subject to whatever reasonable conditions you think are appropriate. Rob came back with something that went beyond what I envisioned, because what he has is basically a 6-month permit, which would automatically expire unless it was extended before that period of time, and provided that the board could revoke the exception upon a hearing. So that's kind of draconic, I thought. We understand that you don't want to give the applicant here, Ari, carte blanche. He's previously indicated that he could live with the 1 a.m. close time. What the board had done in years past with live entertainment permits for restaurants, which is different. I think that's even more problematic. The board had the authority upon a hearing, notice and a hearing, to do a number of various things, not just revoke, because the way Rob has this, it's either you say, okay, there's no problem, or on the other hand, revoke it. You could put a provision in the permit that if there's a problem with it, you can fine the applicant or the operator. You could suspend. In a horrible case, you could revoke. But as Ari is going to tell you when I finish, and I'm making this abbreviated because of your time problems, he's going to invest substantial amounts of money into this, and it can't be done on the basis of the 6-month permit. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I haven't discussed this with him, but my understanding is if you want the quality type of entertainment that he's envisioning here, these guys have to be booked 6 months or more in advance. So it just plain doesn't work.
It doesn't.
So
Yeah,
Ari,
Terry,
you'd like to go from there.
Terry, I appreciate your comments. I know we're running low on time, and I already look at my clock. It's 7:10. So I'd like to open it up for discussion with the village board. Really, what we're facing with here is I spent a long time on the call with you last time, presenting what I wanted to do. I listened to everyone carefully and said, you know, I would be open to a 1 a.m. exception. Period. We're 3 months later, and I feel like I am going backwards from where we were. I can't, in good faith, spend any kind of money renovating this building with the idea that the rug could be pulled out from under me. I'm not saying from anybody who's on this call today, but anyone who happened to be there in the future that just doesn't like the idea of having a live music venue in Suffern anymore. So what I'm asking for the board is a buy-in that they want this. And these are sort of the terms that I feel will be acceptable. So I know that I can have a business that is code compliant and can operate in the village. Right now, the way I read the code, and I guess it's my fault, nobody else's, but the way I read the code, your code does not allow for a live music venue in the village that can stay open past 10 p.m. So I'm here tonight to ask you if I should keep going or stop.
Well, what I think, I'm sorry, I think what should take place here is that everything should be hashed out between Mr. Rice and Mr. Magrino in regards to the code, so that the board then can make a well-informed decision in which direction we're going to go. I want you to continue. Absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, I'm telling you that hasn't happened. And I'm told that we're at an impasse. So we did that work. It took a lot longer than I thought, to be honest, for a couple changes to a small resolution. I've been spending a lot of time getting best-in-class people ready to come into this village and build a beautiful venue. I have an operator already lined up, ready to go. They're ready to fly in at the end of June. I have a whole construction management team that's teed up, ready to go. We're going to start to design in summer. I got to pull the plug on everything because I'm told that the village board cannot agree to something like this in perpetuity.
And that's where we're at. I mean, I put my proposal out there. I sketched out what I thought should happen, that the local law amendment merely authorizes the board to approve an application, and the application subsequently would be subject to whatever reasonable conditions. And Ari has said 1 a.m. is okay. We think the permit should be granted in perpetuity, like any other land use.
As Terry says,
and then it would be subject to fine, suspension, revocation if you have some horrible situation. But we're kind of at an impasse because Rob's got one idea and I've got a different idea.
Well, the way I explained it to Terry was, as a real estate guy, I could give a tenant, a 1-year lease and tell them to go invest $2 million in my building and then just take the space back. I kind of equate that to the same situation here.
Okay.
I'm not going to put my creativity and my money into this building if I don't think that it could be there for the next 20 years operating the way I had envisioned it.
And we discussed this, but this is a tremendous asset for the village. I've seen other venues where you can't get into the restaurants the night you have concerts and so forth. I think what Ari's looking for is a path through this. What his concerns are. And I look at lawyers. Sometimes a lawyer's job is to protect his client. Sometimes a lawyer protects his client more than the client needs to be protected or wants to be protected or doesn't consider other considerations. So it's really at this point a policy decision. The board's got to decide and give Rob some direction on this, because I see an easy path here saying amend the law to just to authorize it, and then if you deem it appropriate, you grant a permit to Ari subject to a 1 a.m. limitation, subject to what I just said before, as far as a hearing in case things get bad in any particular situation. But he has to have the assurance that he's not going to get thrown out at some point in time, because you heard him. I mean,
right.
Right. Listen, if I could just chime in, again, we're going beyond the time. You're saying the 3 months. Last time we were here, I asked Terry for a proposal. I got it in May. I returned around and gave my proposal back. So if you had, and I suggested to him that if he had further changes to my changes, to make them. I understand where you're coming from. Let's keep it going, Terry. If you want to make further changes, Terry, if you want further changes, we'll make further changes.
So this is what I'm saying. I want the resolution that Terry wrote with the 1 a.m. It wasn't, the 1 a.m. wasn't even in there. That was supposed to be a follow-up.
Right. That's what, if you have proposed conditions.
But your comments, Mr. Magrino, was a 6-month. There can't be any. It's got to be in perpetuity. This
is something that Terry and I should be discussing, and we'll work through it. I
asked for a conference call as well, but okay.
I didn't. I don't see that. Terry, did you send me an email asking for a conference call?
Rob, I think what we need the board to give direction here, because
so the direction.
The board good with 1 a.m. Because last time I heard was 11 or 12 was what they were comfortable with. You didn't mention 1 a.m. in your email or the law.
If we go back to the recording, I said 1 a.m. in the recording.
I know you said 1 a.m., but the board said 11 or 12. If you list out all the conditions, I'll present it to the board.
11 a.m. and we won't ever revoke it. But how about if we say 11 a.m. you get and 1 a.m.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta just take charge here of this meeting. What I think should happen right now, given the from the board, from the mayor and the board to Mr. Magrino and Mr. Rice, is take the time this week to put those definitives in place, and then we will return on Monday with a clear and concise resolution for most likely to proceed.
If I may, though, I know you're pressed for time, but I think Mr. Magrino needs direction from the board.
That-
I've made my position clear. Rob has his suggestion. I think the board needs to tell Rob and me what they're willing to live with. And again, I didn't suggest all these specifics should be in the amendment to the law. The law just is intended just to give you the authority to grant a permit. And when you grant a permit, you can impose whatever reasonable conditions you deem appropriate.
Dean, put those reasonable conditions within the permit.
Yes, it's a
Yes.
second step.
Yes, okay. So if we can craft
Well,
something
you-
like that, although the board, yeah, I'm in favor of the 1 a.m. time limit.
I'm
Is
fine
the
with
board-
1 a.m. as well, just for the record. I'm fine with 1
Okay.
a.m. as well.
Thank you.
On weekends only.
On weekends only,
It's
1
not
a.m.?
only-
No.
No. No, a
right,
lot of these are going to be during the week.
You know, my issue we're pressed for time here, and I apologize. I don't want to get into the details, but it depends on when we can get the acts. If you have a New York City act that's playing a Friday and Saturday night, we might get them on a Thursday or a Sunday or a Monday. That's the nature of what this business is going to be, and that is what the Village of Suffern needs to decide if they want. If they want
Exactly.
it, I'm going to do my best to deliver it for you. If you don't want it,
Mr. Benmosche, I believe
We'll
that the
go
village
somewhere
does
else.
want it. The village the
Yeah.
village wants it. The village
Yeah.
needs it. We want this attraction. We
We do.
want this here in the Village of Suffern. I am fine with the 1 a.m. Timeframe throughout the week. The other finer details we can discuss with Mr. Magrino, and he has direction. He's been going back and forth with Mr. Rice. Let's work it out. We'll have until Monday. We'll hash it all out with Mr. Magrino and Mr. Rice and the village board. And I think we'll be in a better position on Monday. Does the board agree with me?
Absolutely.
Yes, I do.
Is the board in agreement with the 1 a.m. timeframe?
I'm gonna need a little time to think about that. I live right next door.
And that's not an automatic for me.
I'm in
Okay.
favor, I'm in favor of 1 a.m.
Okay,
Well, you
And-
all don't
and-
live here.
And
So-
I'll preface that the reality, what I said in the last time we met, is the reality is everything will conclude by 11:30 is my sense, and the operating partner that I'm talking with.
Right.
But there are many instances, holidays, whatever, or where it could go later, and I don't want to put myself in a precarious position. That's it.
And
understood.
and certainly, we would not want you to be in that position, as we totally appreciate and really enjoy the thought that you've put into this. So, let's, like Ed said, let's hash out the details and, kind of understand a little bit better. Don't want to.
If I can make one more comment, I apologize. The biggest issue for me is not the time. The time is there. I feel that most things the biggest issue for me is the, Terry, I don't know how to best describe it, but the ability to take the right away.
The village's
Yeah, no,
ability
and
to take the right away. We understand that. I think I got the big picture. I'll discuss it in detail with Mr. Magrino. I'm sure we will have an answer during the week, by Monday.
And in Mr. Magrino's, out of respect for what he's doing, I don't disagree with him. He's not wrong as someone who's protecting the interests of the village.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. And we'll definitely be in touch during the week. And I know Rob and Terry, Mr. Rice will be in touch also.
Thank you for your time. Sorry for
Great,
running
thank
over.
you.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Fire Department, Chief Kaufer.
I thought you were holding everything, Ed.
I just wanted to see if he had anything pending.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there anything important or pending, Chief, if he's on? Otherwise, it could wait until Monday, as I stated earlier.
All I have is the agenda item, so.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So we'll talk about that on Monday.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you.
Great job yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys look fantastic. Okay, Chief Loughlin, also in the abbreviated.
Yep, same thing. I don't have anything pressing other than what's on my agenda. It can all wait until the regular meeting if the board's okay with that.
Okay.
Board have any questions, any concerns? Good. Chief, thank you very much. Thanks for the detail yesterday. Great job. Great job.
You're welcome.
Sergeant Samora also on his presentation.
It
Thank
was-
you. I will.
It was a great showing for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Culture and Recreation.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
You can.
Yes, the abbreviated
Guys.
version.
Abbreviated versions, everything can wait until Monday.
All right. Thank you very much. Great job yesterday, once again, for Recreation.
Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much. It was
Yeah.
an amazing day.
Sure was.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
It was great.
Thank you very much, Fred.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, Mr. Fred Rella.
Everything can wait as well.
All right, thank you, Fred. Community Foundation, I spoke with Ms. Fed already. She will be, she's going to have further discussion and she might not even be available on Monday for her spot on the agenda. Mr. Sawicki, please.
Yes, hi, good evening. Yes, I'm obviously there's a number of items here, but they can all wait till Monday. I did distribute the Village Hall building assessment to the board today. So we plan on having that architectural group give their presentation on Monday.
Okay, we'll have that on the agenda. Great job by the DPW, the street department. Outstanding work for the parade and the ceremony and preparation and setup and breakdown, and a special thank you to Al Chamberlain on the creation of the Centennial Monument. He did a fantastic job. Thank you.
It was truly an amazing day.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Mr. Genito.
Yes, Mayor, the two resolutions that we have before the board can wait until Monday.
All right, thank you. Mr. Magrino.
Yes, we're just going to be I'm going to be asking the board to set a public hearing on Monday regarding the cannabis opt-out legislation. And again, we can discuss that in more detail before we set the public hearing. I've sent the board some information on that.
Perfect, thank you. Trustees.
Nothing.
I'm all
Keep it
good, thank
moving.
you.
All good. Okay, we're moving right along. Mayor, I have the resolution to appoint the appointment of Teresa Shedler to the position of Senior Clerk Typist for the Village of Suffern Building Department. Do I have a motion on that resolution?
Motion, trustee Alpert.
Trustee Alpert. Do I have a second?
Second, trustee Corrigan.
Trustee Corrigan. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Any opposed? Great, thank you. Congratulations, Mrs. Shedler.
Hey.
Next resolution approving the employment agreement between the Village of Suffern and Lisa Ann DeMarisco Smith as appointee to the position of interim village clerk of the Village of Suffern. Do I have a motion?
Trustee Sauberman moves.
Trustee Sauberman. Do I have a second?
Trustee Corrigan, this is only going through to December 6th, correct?
Correct.
Wonderful. So will we have the opportunity to meet Lisa in person?
Sure.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, has there been any adjustment to the employment contract from the past contracts?
Yes, there has. That was spelled out in the agreement that you received.
Okay,
Yes, and it was in it comported with what you wanted.
thank you.
Yes. Do we have a second on that?
Second, trustee Barone.
Trustee Barone. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Welcome to Lisa Ann D. Morisco Smith.
What is her start date? That's the only thing I didn't see.
I would like her start date to be tomorrow.
Yeah, but when is she starting?
As soon, I put it this way, as soon as possible.
Okay,
Since we have the confirmation, we have the funding in place. I believe it will be
Well,
tomorrow.
because it said, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. And the next item is authorizing Fred Rella to provide grant application services for the mayor to sign a consulting agreement effective July 1. That will be, we could hold that until Monday. Perfect.
I have a question. Is there some reason that the period of that doesn't correspond with our fiscal year, June 1st to May 31st?
It never did.
That's a good question. We have been trying to align all contract and agreements with the June 1 date. We'll take a look at that.
I mean, maybe we can do something nunk-pro-tunk.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because it's never, Fred Rella has never
I
been.
remember bringing this
Right.
up last year as well, at the same, July meeting last,
Okay.
June meeting last year for this.
Let's look at that for the June 1, the effective date, June 1. Okay, very good. So now we're going to enter into an executive session.
I just have a quick question on that.
Go ahead.
So I received Mike's email, and do we come off of this and go into that? Or do we run 2 Zoom meetings at once? I've never done 2 Zooms at once.
To answer that question, I don't believe you're going to be doing 2 Zoom meetings. Basically, the executive session would be by telephone, as we've had in the past.
No,
Oh,
Mike,
did you set up a
no.
separate one?
I'm going to ask everybody to sign off of this one and then sign back in. They're going to be doing presentations and stuff, so it's going to be a Zoom meeting. So, and just in terms of the reasoning, Public Officers Law 105(1)(f), these are in essence interviews before making an appointment, so of corporations. So it's, in our opinion, permitted to do executive session for that purpose. But no, it would be, my suggestion is to come off and sign into the other one and then sign back into this. And Mike, whatever you have to do to keep this one going, I don't know.
Yeah, basically what, just so you understand, we'll have a splash screen up advising everybody that the executive session is in progress. The board is expected to return to the regular meeting at 9:15 p.m. So if everybody returns before 9:15, I would assume that they should stay until 9:15 because some of the public might have left the meeting to come back.
Okay.
And the other point is that we will not be taking an action this evening.
After you come back, right?
We will not be.
There'll be no vote, no nothing, no.
Right. So I just want to make that clear so that we don't have,
You call it that
public
legal
standing
term.
here for an hour and a half.
And to be clear, there's nothing on the agenda after we come back. I mean,
Right.
So I
Just
mean,
for the purpose of adjourning.
We have to adjourn the meeting though, so.
That's the only purpose, correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna sign off and we'll see you on the other
Let's,
side.
let's motion into
Oh,
it.
sorry.
Let's motion into executive session, please.
Motion, Trustee Corrigan.
Trustee Corrigan and
Second.
second,
Trustee Barone.
trustee Alpert,
I have a
all in
question.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Thank you. See you on the other side. Motion to exit executive session.
Motion, Trustee Barone.
Trustee Barone, second.
Trustee
Trustee
Alpert.
Cor-
Trustee Alpert, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now, motion to close the meeting.
Motion, Trustee Corrigan.
Trustee Corrigan,
Second.
Second, Trustee Barone.
trustee Sauberman on the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.